Greetings and salutations, everyone. And today I have an upload that will, without a doubt, prove that there is Dogman activity in Meeker, Colorado. Before we get into this upload, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch is displayed directly under this video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and guys, it definitely matters. And now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's upload, shall we? Also, there will be the link to the photos, the news article of the photos that I will be talking about in this upload. It will be pinned in the comment section, which means it is the first comment in the comment section. The link will also be in the description above my information as well. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so a couple days ago I talked about a gentleman who reached out to me out of the Meeker, Colorado area, actually White River City, which is Meeker, Colorado. I mean, we're talking a population of next to nothing, okay? Now, don't get me wrong when I say this. When I say next to nothing, where I live, we have a pretty large population, 17,000 people. This area is so small compared to, but I just want to emphasize this. These people are ranchers. These people are hardworking, good American men, women, children, people of value. They know what struggle is. They know what work is, and they have a lot of them have a lot of money. So I was talking to Carl, and we got discussing some things today, which I'll go over with you shortly. There's a new news article out, and I want you guys to think about something, okay? During these articles that I shared with you the first day that we talked about this, it said wolf depredation, this isn't. So immediately your mind goes to Meeker, Colorado. They must have a huge population of wolves. That's not the case at all. All right. When I say I've been doing research, guys, this is everything. I mean, we are talking paper, just tons of papers. 3 paper clipped, about 100 pages at least of articles that I've been researching and stuff that I've been researching. This wolf depredation and the amount of cattle that have been killed in such a horrendous way. A lot of you, I've read in the comment sections, are going and checking out the photos. And they're graphic. They are they're very graphic. To the point where, it's almost amazing that they're not taken down. It's I believe the Fence Post News is a private news agency. But this is something that I looked up and I wanted to share with you guys because there's 2 articles that I want to share with you, and then some information from Carl and Carl's son. Meeker, Colorado is a very, very interesting town and how it's set up. Carl told me pretty much how it was set up. He's got a friend that lives. So Meeker, the city or town or whatever, is right here. Carl lives up here, 64. And then his buddy lives up here on 30. 30, I think 64 turns into 15, which then juts up and turns or forks out into 30. And there's another preserve there where Carl had his run-in with this team was in the Rio Blanco Lake State Wildlife. His buddy lives by the Jensen Wildlife area. But so I was like, wow, there must be, for the amount of damage to 40 heads of cattle, that must be a lot of wolves to really, because that's a lot of meat. And there's not a lot of meat stripped off these animals. These animals were just killed almost for sport, it looks like. Really, to be honest. Those of you who have seen those photos would have to agree with me. They do not look like they've been feasted on. They look like they've been hunted for sport. So this is from August of 2022. And it's right from the Colorado government, uscolorado.gov. The state is aiming for a population goal of 250 wolves, while wolf advocates are pushing for a minimum of 750. How many wolves can the state realistically support? There was a Proposition 114, passed only by a margin, which the CPW to reintroduce gray wolves. Wolves are a fundamental part of nature. It's crazy because when the wolves were reintroduced into the Adirondacks, there wasn't any fighting. People were excited because the deer population had exploded, the rabbit population. Wolves hunt these nuisance animals, even coyote. They'll hunt coyote. They don't just hang out. They're an apex predator. They're very useful. Nature's stake in the game, I guess we'll call it. But anyway, so they wanted to reintroduce the gray wolves into the area. The CPW was aiming for 250. The supporters were aiming for 750. Logistically, that means there's less than 250 wolves in the state of Colorado. Because I've been looking into this and really cannot get an exact number, but there was a couple of very interesting things that popped out at me in this. Okay, we are stewards of the land. If the land is sick, we are sick. Based on the current proposal, CPW has separated wolf reintroduction into 3 district phases. The first phase involves reintroducing 8 to 10 wolves annually while keeping the species listed as endangered. The wolves are endangered in Colorado. This article is new. This is 2022. August. This is, we're not talking a couple years ago. This is, so introducing 8 to 10 wolves per year there would need to be 50 wolves in Colorado for 4 consecutive years for the status to change from endangered to threatened. So that means there is less than 50 wolves in Colorado right now. 40 head of cattle are getting attacked by how many wolves? And wolves, once again, do not hunt for sport. There's another very interesting there's a very interesting statement in here. Sorry, guys. I thought I had it marked out. Okay, so here's one interesting statement. Western Colorado itself would be a habitat suited for 1,000 wolves, for no one to even, take notice of them. They would not be a problem if there was 1,000 wolves in the western part of Colorado, which makes a lot of sense because it's a very large state, and there's a lot of area for these animals to cover, hunt, and remain away from humans. So the final phase of this would be there would need to be 150 wolves in Colorado for 2 consecutive years to reclassify wolves as a non-game species. So endangered, threatened, non-game species. That means you cannot hunt them, but they're not endangered anymore. All right. There is less than 50 wolves in Colorado. That does not, the numbers don't add up, and there cannot be more than 1, maybe 2 wolves in that surrounding area. Where the smallest pack, or the pack closest, was in Jefferson, I believe. I think it was like 4, some 150 miles away. Now, the stereotype that wolves have, and I understand that when the media puts out information, the people that work hard and live off the land that these ranchers do, I mean, these animals are their livelihood. They are looked at like that's their money, There's an interesting thing right here. All right. A wolf pack naturally migrated south from Wyoming, killed a calf on the Giltson Ranch outside of Walden, Colorado. That event marked the state's first confirmed livestock kill by wolves in 70 years. 70 years. So then you've got this other one that just happened, and they're not even sure that that is done by these wolves in Jefferson, I believe. But then you've got Don Gittleson, who he lost 1 calf. I've lost more animals to predators in the last 6 months, and more animals to wolves than I have to any other predator in 40 years. What? What? Does that make sense? Because the statistics just said no. The actual agency that is in charge of the wolves and reintroducing them said no. This is the first confirmed wolf attack in 70 years. But this guy who is lacking in something says, and that is just and I understand he's losing money. He lost one calf. What is that? A couple $100? So you're going to blame wolves, even though you don't know what it is. It was torn apart. Must have been a wolf. Well, if the government would be honest with us and tell us that, hey, dogmen, Bigfoot, and other cryptid predators are existing out in the wild today, people like Mr. Gittleson wouldn't be blaming wolves. Wolves wouldn't be the culprit, the scapegoat, the not culprit, but the scapegoat. You know what I meant. And maybe they could have a positive reintroduction of wolves into the area, which to me would be truly an amazing breakthrough. In the Adirondacks, when they reintroduced wolves up here, a lot of people were happy, and now it's you are lucky if you hear a wolf howl while you are deep in the Adirondacks and go miles and miles away from where I am right now. Go to like Siamese Ponds, Peaked Mountain, where the fire roads are, where, when I was growing up, Boy Scouts, explorers, we would go and hike and camp and just learn how to survive in the wild. And now they're gone. Something killed them. Something hunted the wolves in the Adirondacks, and I truly believe that it was dogmen. I was talking to Ed last night, and we were talking about how he had spoken to another YouTube channel, and he didn't go on his show because the fact that this guy had said, and I'm not friends with this person. I don't even know the person. I've never spoken with the person. No, I have actually. But he said that dogmen can't throw rocks. They have an opposable thumb, and his thing was because of the claws. Well, my daughters, when they want to look pretty or whatever, they'll do their nails and buy the fake nails and put them on, and they can throw stuff. They throw haymakers at each other sometimes. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. And I was like, that makes no sense, because that's like saying Bigfoot is the only thing out in the woods that can throw a rock with an opposable thumb. Does this person honestly think that, like, what, Bigfoot's out there trimming his nails? So I gotta trim my nails so I can keep them nice and fresh so I can throw rocks at the people? It's honestly a very hard and difficult community to be in when you realize that, hey, I am accepting of all kind of theories and everything because nothing has been proven to me not true yet. My channel, I want to have a very accepting area for people to come share openly and not feel like they're going to get judged. I myself believe that a dog man can throw a rock. If you don't believe that, I'm not going to say, well, you're an idiot. But, just think about this. They have an opposable thumb. You can literally, even with, nails like that. These things have lived in the woods for thousands of years and honed skills that we as humans can't even imagine doing. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, why I got on that subject. I had interviewed a logger that lives up in Malone, New York, which is by Canada, by Cornwall, by the reservation, Messina, right up by the border, St. Lawrence Seaway. He had dogmen throwing rocks at his house. Not a Bigfoot, a dogman. And he and I talked about the depopulation of wolves in the Adirondacks, and he agreed that, yeah, dogmen more than likely are hunting the wolf population out of the Adirondacks. So anyway, back to Colorado. You've got an endangered animal that for 70 years has not attacked cattle. Maybe this one incident was at the Gattleson was, because that's nowhere near Meeker, all right? Let's just get that clear. Nowhere near Meeker. But let's say maybe that wasn't wolf. Chances are it could have been the science is there. So they're saying, yeah, it is. This is a new article. This is brand new. Either the media is getting smart or the government's telling them to go with the story that it's not wolves and throw a fastball at us all and come out of the left wing and say, hey guys, it was cougars. I don't think, I myself, you see the pictures, it's not a cougar attack. There was meat wasted. Wolves, cougars, wild animals that kill for food, eat the food. They don't waste the food. And they don't hunt for sport. Humans are the only people that hunt for sport, or we're the only animal that hunts for sport. That and Dogman, crawlers, Bigfoot, whatever. I truly believe that Bigfoot hunts for sport. I don't think that Bigfoot are some cuddly, Harry and the Henderson type animal. They're a wild creature. They've harmed humans. And they're not friends. They're dangerous animals. That's like saying a silverback gorilla is safe enough to walk up onto and not think you're going to get hurt. Okay? They're dangerous. New news article. Something killed dozens of... This is December 1st. Something killed dozens of cattle around White River National Forest lands in northwest Colorado, and state wildlife officials don't know what it is. A rancher in the area first reported the death of about 18 calves earlier last month, and Colorado Parks and Wildlife investigators initially thought wolves may be responsible. That estimation was significant because the site sits in a considerable distance away from the North Park, where the state's only confirmed pack lives, meaning that if wolves had killed the cattle, Colorado likely had a new and previous unreported pack. We are talking about a pack that's less than 8. By now, the death toll has increased to about 40. It's now over 40, to be honest with you. I guarantee within the next 6 days, the number will be about 50 something. That's just from what I've been told. It's actually up to that now. CPW Northwest Regional Manager Travis Black told the state's Park and Wildlife Commission on the 17th of November, and over the past few weeks, investigators found no evidence that wolves are responsible. It's perplexing, Black said. We're scratching our heads a little bit. You're scratching your ass and smelling your finger. You're doing nothing. We don't know exactly... I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to say that. We don't know exactly what has occurred up here. Yeah, you do. You know what happened, Travis Black. You know. You're not a dumb man. I've got 6,000 to 8,000 people that are watching these videos about this cattle attack, and they know what it is. They know it's not a wolf, and they know it's not some bacterial strain that is lying dormant in cattle until they get attacked, and then it just runs rampant and then jumps from cattle to cattle. Come on, fella. Come on. Find that missing chromosome. Only as many as 5 dead cows suffered injuries that may indicate wolf attack, Black said. Missing tails, bite marks on hocks and flanks and hamstrings. But there is no evidence that a wolf ever returned to their prey, which would be unusual unless the pack hunters had been spooked and were too afraid to return. Investigators used trail cam and surveyed the area by flying overhead. There's more than investigators flying overhead. Wait until you hear what news Carl and his son and friend shared. Several people have reported hearing howling over the past few years. They're hearing howling, but the wolves are not there. The wolves are not there. So what's howling? What's howling? Dogman, right? You know. We're solving the fucking riddle right now. Sorry. Didn't mean to curse. Got a little excited. The howls likely came from coyote. No. Coyotes do howl, but it's more of a yip. It's like a Sally dog yip. It's nothing compared to a howl of a wolf. And there's got to be multiple coyote. You can distinguish the sound of a pack of coyote and a howl of a apex predator, a monster. Get excited, because this right here is the keys, my friends. The keys to the fast car. And lab analysis of hair and scat that might have belonged to wolves have come back inconclusive. So you're finding hair and you're finding crap, and it's not what you think it is. It's actually coming up unidentified mammalian. During the investigation, 2 other possible explanations emerged. First is the type of bacterial infection, which we've all talked about and laughed, and Travis Black should be ashamed of himself for keep mentioning it in the newspaper and media. But when experts examined the dead cattle for such an illness, the results came back inconclusive as well. And why do you keep talking about it? Microscopic lesions that typically indicate such an infection aren't there. The second and new possibility is that dogs used to protect livestock may have attacked or startled the cattle, but those dogs aren't generally in the area this time of year. They startled the cattle, and then the cattle, all of a sudden, the skin just got ripped apart and this and that. Those of you who have seen the pictures, when I just shared this with you, you know. Once again, I will put the link to everything in the description of this video. That means where it says description of video under title. And I will pin it so it will be the first comment. So, and I've seen some people say, well, it's not the first comment. Yes, it is. That's how pinned comments work in YouTube. You click the video open, you go to comments, and there it is. I'm just saying, because I want you guys to see these pictures. I'm not trying to be a smart butt. I want you guys to see these pictures, all right? The pictures is the proof in the pudding. Also, everything in this article, you've got hair, you've got crap, you've got howls that are unidentified, you've got proof that there's no wolves in the area. The population of wolves is so minute that why even bring a wolf up? I truly believe that the media in the next month will come out and say this was a cougar attack. Cougars did it or something else. Maybe a bear, cougar. But wolves are pulled out now because they've already just, I'd hate to be one of those a wolf in that wolf pack nowadays, because you know darn well that there are people that live in Colorado in that area or up where these very small pack is. Chances are there's a few drunkards that are going to go and have a freaking natty and go and spotlight and try to get a wolf. Yet, if they just really sat and listened and used their intelligence instead of their anger because of loss of money or loss of friends' money and this and that, they would understand that the wolves are not the enemy. The real enemy is the people that are not telling us the truth. This is the information that I got from Carl today. So Carl's buddy, for those of you who don't and hadn't heard, Carl was horseback riding with his daughter and son at the Rio Blanco Lake State Wildlife Area when they stumbled upon a kill team. Father and daughter are here. They heard gunshots. They went around. This was in late June. They went around the area so they would not be in the line of fire, because he couldn't tell where the line of fire was, but they went around because really logistically you don't shoot toward a roadway. But we're talking about the U.S. government here, so chances are they're going to. So when the dad and when Carl and his daughter pulled up on them, this guy, the only person without a balaclava, met them. The son came up with them, but as he came, he kind of turned his horse, so they could see that there was this large mammal there. Carl couldn't tell what it was. His son said, "Dad, it was the largest husky I've ever seen. This thing had to weigh 400 pounds. That's a big husky, all right? Now, Carl has lived in this area his entire life, except for the time that he went to the military, all right? New information. His friend who lives off of 30, which 64 rolls into 15, 15 then goes up and forks from 15 into 30, and there's a Jensen wildlife area. His friend, who lives about a quarter of a mile from that area, he didn't go investigate, but he said he heard what sounded like a huge gunfight. Not semi-automatic, real automatic gunfire. This was around 11:30 at night. Now, his son, who is still in school, the daughter is not. The daughter's graduated. The son's still in school. There's an airport that is very close to the school. His son said that at the airport, they're not being secretive, because there were 4 blacked out little birds on the airstrip. Boom, boom, boom. 4 of them. Blacked out little birds are what, like, the night hawks, night rangers use. Special forces use these helicopters. They're very, they're quick. They're agile little helicopters that they're very cool. I mean, you can equip them with light armament, meaning miniguns, which is going to shoot 7.62, or 50 cal, and they can do a lot of damage. All right, they're fast. They're almost silent when they are flying at a higher up. Now, he said there was 4 of these. There's never been these helicopters there. So right there, there's the helicopters that Carl had been seeing. All right. Carl also believes that these men are staying at a local hotel in the area because the airport is here. The schools are all in here in a little cluster. And there's a hotel or motel or hotel right in this area. He believes that what's going on is this team knows what they're up against. They're not going to stop until it's probably a rogue Dogman. Sorry, heard a strange noise out there. It was my daughter. I thought she was sleeping, but apparently she's not. So anyway, they know what's going on. They know what they're up against. They are up against a very dangerous pack of dogmen. This team probably will not leave the area until this pack is dealt with. Luke and Taylor, Mississippi dealt with them, these teams. And they don't leave until the target is taken care of and the job is done, or they are told the job is done. So that is right now what I have. But you have proof now. Right now, I just, in this video, just gave you more proof that this is not wolf. The wolves could not do this because the population of wolves are so minute. And once again, the pictures will be, or not pictures, the links to the pictures will be in the description and comment section pinned. All right. Wolves do not hunt for sport. Humans hunt for sport. We hunt for sport. Orcas, I think they hunt for sport, but that's because they're very intelligent. That's weird. The intelligent creatures hunt for sport. This is definitely a dog, man. There's no evidence that this is wolves. They've not returned back to the attack. There's been only one wolf attack in 70 years. They have found hair and scat, and it's coming back unknown mammalian. That's a dogman. It's the only thing it can be. So I really hope that it ends soon. I really hope that no human being gets harmed during this. And I will keep you guys in the loop on what else is going on. Yeah, so be safe. May the Great Spirit watch out for all of us, and may He guide us down that path that we call life. Please keep Carl and his family in your prayers. Keep the region of Meeker, Colorado in your prayers, and everyone else. So thank you guys, and be safe.